We are live. So today, kind of give you an idea, we're going to talk a little bit about security and privacy. I got a special guest that's going to be on here pretty soon as well. And he's going to give us a little bit more information and some really good ideas on what you can do to secure your phone even more. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then I'm going to go through a bunch of iPhone settings that you need to change if you haven't already, as well as the couple that I haven't mentioned before that'll be completely new. So hello, Toronto. Hello, hello. I'm doing great. I am doing great. We're also going to go through some websites that will help you have a little bit more security, and then a couple for fun as well as some iPhone apps for privacy and security as well. So looking forward to spending the next 30 minutes with you guys. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun for sure, for sure. Well, I think it's time. Let's jump into that interview with my special guest. I am here with our special guest, Simon Davis, the VP of Marketing for Roboform. And as we've been talking about, we're really focusing on security and privacy. And I thought this is the perfect guest to have join us because, boy, there's nothing more sacred, nothing that we need to protect probably more than our password. So welcome, Simon. Welcome to Tech Talk Live.
Hey, Scott. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. And yeah, let's jump right into it. You know, the number one thing that I see in comments on the videos, why should I use one?
Sure. Yeah. So obviously, your users, your audience, a lot of iPhone users, right? And anybody who has an iOS device or a Mac device knows that there's iCloud keychain, right? So Mac has a built-in password manager of sorts, built in right to their OS. Google has one too, Android, Chrome, they have one too. And if you're not going to use anything, I definitely tell people to use that. Just to back out 1 minute, the reason you should use a password manager is because, if you've been using the same password for everything, that's a really bad security practice. One, that means your password is super easy to guess, which means that, any script running will be able to figure it out in no time. And then now what happens is, and then if you use it, if you use the same password on multiple sites, you run the risk of, if somebody finds your Amazon password, then the first thing they're going to do is, oh, let me see if this email's got a Netflix account. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, it's just a pain in the butt. Breaches they're happening daily. You might have used that password on a site you never remembered about, some forum you signed up for 10 years ago. And now all of a sudden, you can't get into your bank. You know what I mean? So,
yes.
The way to stop that from happening is to make sure, one, that you're using a unique password for every site, right? So that means that even if somebody gets into that one site, they're only getting into that one site. They can't use that information to go somewhere else. And more importantly, they're using something that's hard to guess, something that's ideally randomly generated. So that's, in general, why should you use a password? That's why. Now, the question is, Apple's got a free one. Why do I need this thing? It's a great question. It's very important. There's a lot of reasons. One, we work across every single platform, every single browser. So, there's a lot of people out there that are Windows and iPhone people, right? And you may not use, there's no Safari on Windows. Say you want to use Chrome on Windows and you want to use Safari on iPhone. You can't really do that. So, that's why you should use a password manager like Roboform. Firefox, Edge, any browser that you've heard of, any device you've heard of, you want to go on your Android, it's all there. So, the main benefit is really portability. It's your data. It's also on a nice, easy to manage app. Again, keychain secure, it's great, but if you try to get to those passwords, it's a multi-step process. It's not, it's not a fun experience. You know what I mean? If you ever have to look up a password, you got to go through 4 different menus. Not great. Again, with Roboform, it's an app. It's all right there. It's available offline. It's always there. We'll generate the password. And also, we make it easier to log in. So, there's a browser extension. You can add it to Safari. You can add it to Chrome. You can add it to Firefox, whatever. Especially if you're on desktop, you can do a one-click login. You can give it additional information. You can do form filling. You can share passwords securely. Again, let's going back to the Netflix one or the Amazon password. A lot of times, you might have one account that you like to share with people. How many times have you had to change it? And then, you have people calling you or shouting you from the house like, hey, what's the new Netflix password? Not fun. Nobody likes to do it. Again, with Roboform, you can securely share access to any data in there with somebody else, and they won't need to know your master password. Now, I know you're saying, why should I trust Roboform? That's a hugely important question. You should be asking it. So first things first, all data in Roboform is encrypted with your own secret key that we do not know. I cannot emphasize this enough. You pick your one master password. That's your key. We do not know that key. All the data is stored, is decrypted locally on your device. Any data that goes in our servers is complete gibberish. We cannot get it because we do not have your key. I want people to understand that, because obviously, it's a concern, right? It's your password. It's
Yes.
very important stuff. So all data is highly secure and not available to us. So, those are kind of the two main benefits. And then, there's other cool things, like, for example, if you have a site that has two-step authentication, 2FA, Roboform has a built-in authenticator. So, you don't have to use your phone, get the text message, get the email, whatever. Again, it'll log in with one click. So, it works everywhere. It's easy to use. It's easier to manage your data. And, again, it's your information, and, I would say just give it a try. Oh, it's easy to set up. That's the most important thing. I forgot to say that. Super easy to set up.
Yes, and I'm playing a little bit of a devil's advocate here, because I did download Roboform and started using it. And it's funny you mentioned Netflix. We didn't talk about this at all, but about 4 months ago, I started getting random charges on my Netflix account, of all things, and ended up having to shut down my credit card, go through all these different things. And oddly, Netflix would not tell me the email that was using my credit card because it was against their terms of service. So I thought that was a little unusual. But I will say to our audience that data breaches are common. iOS is far from perfect. People are noticing all of these privacy issues on their iPhone that I bring up on a daily and weekly basis. So using a separate company like Roboform is a great idea, I think. And I've had, I thought it was really easy to set up. You literally download the app and you're up and running in no time. And man, that's exactly why I wanted to have you on, is I think it's perfect for our user base that basically, I'd say 95% are on the iPhone.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Great. Anything that else you want to add before we wrap this up, Simon?
Yeah, sure. So, I just wanted to mention that, we're giving you viewers a really great deal. So Roboform, it's Roboform. If you just want to use Roboform on one device, it's totally free. There's no limitations. That's there. If you want to get the premium features, syncing across all devices, cloud backup, secure sharing, all the fun stuff, it's a super low $24 a year subscription. There's also a family plan, which is $48 a year, up to 5 users. So, our business model is very simple, by the way. I just want to emphasize this. We're an independent software company. We only make money when somebody buys the software. Okay. So we don't have any ads. We're not selling your data to the highest bidder. Even if we could see it, we can't see it. But, so this is how we make money. So it's very straightforward. And to your users, Scott, we're giving a special up to 42% discount. So if you want to buy 1 year, it's $16.68 per year, $17. Depending on where you are in the country, that's the price of lunch. Other places, it might be dinner, So yeah, it's peace of mind. It's super easy to set up. Give it a try. And we have a 30-day money back guarantee. So you don't like it, we'll give you your money back. And we have a 30-day free trial. So nothing really to lose. But give it a try. And I don't think you'll ask yourself what you did when you didn't have it. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely. And I can tell you from experience, once again, it's easy to use. And if you do run into headaches of your password being compromised, it's hours and hours of your time and frustration trying to get all of that reversed on a credit card. So go with something like Roboform, Password Manager, and you don't have to worry about any of that. So thanks for joining me today, Simon. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Scott. Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks for watching that interview. I hope you got a lot out of that. We are now going to jump right back into TikTok Live.
I'm just curious because I get a lot of flack from the younger crowd. Throw a number up there on your approximate age, right? So I know I'm a little bit older, but hey, you know what? There's always new things to learn with these phones. Thank you. Welcome, Tucson. Welcome. Hello, Oregon, Georgia, South Carolina. Good. I'm glad you guys are learning stuff. Awesome. Good. You know, really, there's two ways to unlock an iPhone. And really, it's with the passcode or with permission. I usually tell people if it is your iPhone, you do have the option of plugging it into a PC, and you can go through some steps there, but it is certainly no guarantee. They have made these things pretty secure so that when people steal them, they can't just plug them in. So unfortunately, there's no real easy way to get into that. Hello, Ghana. Hello. Snowing, dancing the salsa. All right. Hey, I'm glad you used the iPhone tips. Thank you. All right. I still have the 11 Pro. Do I need to upgrade? This might shock you guys. I'm on the 11 Pro Max right now. And I was going to upgrade to the iPhone 13, but the reason I didn't is because I saw a lot of the things coming out on the iPhone 14, and if the Tesla Pi phone becomes a reality, then I would certainly be interested in getting that. So let me see. I forgot your Apple ID. Without your Apple ID, that's going to be really tough. You can try tech support, but that's going to be a challenge. 13 Pro Max. Good. First time. Welcome. What phones are we rocking out there? I know a ton of iPhones, obviously. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into some privacy settings. Let me see. Can you find products on the internet taking pictures like on the Galaxy? Yes, you can. You absolutely can. So if you take a picture with your phone and then take that to Google and search by image, it'll bring up, even if you don't know what the name of the product is, it'll bring up that product. So if you're like, man, that's really cool, how do I get it? Take a picture of it, upload it to Google, and use the search by image function, and you are golden. I have a video that I actually put out on exactly how to do that. So yes, you certainly can. But I want to talk a little bit about privacy because, man, the deeper I dig into this, it's been over a year now. I had cell phone stores many years ago before smartphones, but in the last year, obviously, I've dug really deep into the iPhone with probably 150 plus videos that are just iPhone related. And I'll tell you, I've been really shocked at, the privacy scenario. And I think, obviously, Facebook didn't like Apple's movements towards more privacy, as everybody knows. But let's jump into a couple things that you can start doing right away. If you have your phone, and you don't have to take notes right now because this will be up again tomorrow on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch the replay. But, I'll tell you, if you go into settings and then you go and click on privacy, you're going to want to go through almost all of those functions. And I'm going to tell you why. The first one I want to talk about here is microphone privacy. There's been a few app companies who have gotten in trouble for using the microphone with the app without permission. Not saying that that's happening, but I'll tell you, if you go into privacy settings and you click on your microphone, you're going to see really quick all of the apps that have access to your microphone. And I think you're going to be pretty surprised. And it's going to be apps that you may never even use. So I recommend that you turn them to never if you don't use them at all. If it's apps that you use quite frequently, the most I would give permission, the most permission that I would give is just while using. I would certainly not leave any of these just open that always. You have the choice of always, and there aren't any apps that I would use always because it just, it opens the door for a whole lot of privacy and security issues for you. The next one that I want to talk about, it's right in that same area, is when you go into settings. Once again, click on your settings and go down to privacy, and you're going to see the camera, right? man, I was once again pretty surprised by what apps use my camera, and the reality is there's really no reason that those apps should be using it. So go through each individual app. Now, some people have asked me, there's certain settings where you can shut them all down. The challenge is if you need to use it, if you upload a photo to Facebook, if you're going to, especially with the map function, there's different things we're going to talk about tonight that you might want that on for a certain reason. But for the most part, it's really only when you're using the app. And when you close the app, remember, just because you click out of it, it's not closed. You have to swipe it up to close it. So make sure that you're actually closing the app. I've gotten messages from people and asked them to do a couple things, and come to find out they didn't even realize they needed to swipe up and close the apps, and they had 50 every app open over the last year that they've used their phone. So make sure you're closing those out. That's going to be important. Feel free, leave some comments down below, and I can answer questions as we're going here for sure. And let me see. I want to go also settings and privacy, and that is with your photos as well. This is a huge challenge for your photos leaking out and getting out to areas that you don't want private photos to go out to. And there's a couple things that you can do. If you have specific photos, I definitely recommend that you put them in the hidden album, and all you do is hold down on the photo and scroll up, and you're going to get a list, and you can actually put them in a hidden album. If you have kids that are playing with your phone and they can easily just hit the photos, and you have any sensitive photos on there, that might not be a bad idea. So the other one, and this one surprised me. You know, I'm pretty active, I'm into fitness, so I always use the Map My Run, and I have my Apple Watch, so I'm constantly trying to get my steps in all the time. And I went into privacy, once again, settings privacy, and I looked at motion and fitness. And when I went down there, the Waze app was open, and then I had one other app that had nothing to do with motion and fitness that was open. So make sure and go to settings, privacy, and then take a look at motion and fitness and decide how often you want those on. And once again, I recommend only when using it the most. And literally, if you think about that, that is your phone tracking every single step. So you might say, well, you know what, why would that bother me? Which most of you on here, I know just from interacting with you over the last year, it bothers you. Man, you're getting fed ads based on where you're at, what you're doing, how active you are, all of these different things. And on one side, it helps to give you a better experience online, right? So that if you notice, if you go to Google, if you just click on Google, if you have that app, all those stories are based on websites that you've visited, places that you've been, things that you've done online, places you've been with the actual phone. So that's where that information is coming from. So I would be very particular at what you're sharing and with who. You know, I just shared something this week, and I will tell you which video that is. Bear with me for 1 second. And about 3/4 of you posted comments, tons and tons of comments that I made this up or this doesn't exist. And I wasn't sure if it was country related, phone related, iOS system related. But video number 122, I talked about turning on the app privacy report. And the deeper I dug into that, what I realized is the new latest iOS system has changed that from record app activity. They've changed it to changed it from record app activity to app privacy report. It's much of the same information. And I had a few people say, well, is this going to kill my battery if I am, using this? I don't recommend you leave it on long term, but I would certainly turn it on. How do you get to it? You might be asking. You go into settings once again, go into privacy, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're going to either see record app activity or app privacy report. I definitely suggest that you turn that on at least for 7 days. And the reason I would turn that on for 7 days is it's going to give you a good idea on what apps are accessing your information. And it's not just apps, it's websites as well. So you're going to be really surprised at what that report turns out. I've been doing this for a year, and some of that information surprised me. I'm in marketing, so I run Facebook ads and do a lot of these different things. And I was pretty surprised with the app activity. And I think that's why you've probably seen so much of an uproar from Facebook. They say it's going to kill small businesses. I don't believe that's the case. But we all want privacy, right? We want our privacy online the best that we can. And I always say the best that we can, because you have to remember, we're on a smartphone, we're on a computer that we're carrying around nonstop, and it's not going to be 100% absolutely secure. That really just doesn't exist. So, be aware of that. So I want to touch on one other thing here. In video 113, I talked about an anti-theft template. And basically what it is, if you go, you'll see it up above at the put4.com. If you sign up for my email list, I just send you iPhone tricks, usually before I post them anywhere else, so you're the first to get them. But you'll also get this, what's called anti-theft template. And it's good for the iPhone, and I've matched all the colors and fonts. So basically, if somebody were to take your phone and they look at it, it says this is property of, and you can choose either A, B, C, I, A, D, E, F, B, I, H, I, J, K, element of whatever 3 letters you want, so that when somebody reads that, they say, wow, there's a better chance of them returning it and less of a chance that they're going to hack into that phone. So it can definitely help protect you, and you can just go get that at put4.com. But I want to move on to some Q&A, because I see a lot of things popping up. Hello. Yeah, I look like John Malkovich a lot. I never got that before TikTok. I don't know. When I was younger, they said Jean-Claude Van Damme, but I had hair then. I had hair, and that was even a stretch too. But let me see. That was a Google search for a product. Yeah, let me tell you that. I have all of these up right here. Google search for a product. 1 second, and I will tell you where that is at. And while I'm doing that, check out some of these videos. Just make a note if you can. Check out video number 104 when it comes to privacy. And the reason for that is a new feature coming out is going to be nearby interactions. And it's not one that I'm super excited about. It sounds like your phone will be able to monitor nearby interactions. So that means if you have this turned on, there's other people using that same app that can know you're using that app as well and get a relative location, not an exact address or anything like that. But yeah, it's once again like, sharing your location, and yeah, not something that I'm a big fan of, but that's number 104. And if you've updated and you have this, check back on a regular basis. As soon as I see an app hit there, it looks like they've put it in there, but the apps are not quite loading there yet. So once they do, I'll start making videos and remind you of that. Yes, video number 102. Video number 102 is you can password protect any app. A lot of people fell off on that one because it takes a little while. That's video number 62 on my TikTok channel. I show you exactly how to grab a photo, drop it into Google, and then find the best price on just about anything. And that video's gotten a lot of views, over 350,000, so a lot of people have been interested in that one. The next one that's huge is, please take a look, jot this down, video number 67 that I put out quite a while ago. Don't have the date on it, but it will allow you to find out which apps are accessing your information. So my goal with this, and I get this a lot, do I work for Apple? What's my goal? My goal is to help people with their phones, and not only, they don't come with user manuals anymore. So not only to help enhance the experience for you, but hey, make you smarter than your kids when it comes to your iPhone, right? Or grandkids, right? Yes, absolutely. And I love interacting with you guys. I appreciate all the feedback. It is so awesome. So thank you so much. Go into your settings and go into privacy, and you're going to want to look at location services. I've made a lot of videos on this, And you really have two options. And these are questions I get on a regular basis, and I apologize if I couldn't get back to everybody. But I get a lot of questions on location services. People ask, okay, so what should I do? Should I turn them all completely off? Well, you can do that, but then when you go to use maps, it's going to tell you that you can't use maps. Or when you're trying to get an Uber in a hurry, or Lyft, or Airbnb, all that have been experiences mine. So I don't know if you want to turn it off completely. If you don't use any of those functions, including your weather, you don't use your phone for weather, you can turn location services off completely and you'll probably be fine. But I almost recommend that you go through, once again, under location services, click on that and shut down or manage the apps. The ones you don't use, turn them off, and the ones that you do use while you're using, make it functionable. You might be trying to get a lift and it's late and you cannot figure out why that isn't working. Not that it's happened to me. And only to find out that their particular app doesn't tell you why it's not working. It just plain doesn't work. So there's other apps like that they just won't work and you won't know exactly what function you turned off. So be a little bit careful with that. I don't have any side chicks, but if you did have a side chick and you wanted to hide photos, or you have kids and they play with your phone, you can click on a photo, scroll up, and put it into a hidden album. So your next question is going to be, can somebody just go into your albums and scroll up to hidden album? They can, unless you go into your settings and go into photos, and there's actually a setting, ready for this, you can hide your hidden photos. Yes, so then they won't be able to access them. Or you can also use the app to password protect your hidden photo album that I mentioned above, and that's video number 102. So hopefully that helps. Oh yeah, how did I get the scar on my eye? I'll answer that one. So for the kids, when your parents tell you don't jump on the bed, yes. So when I was a little kid, apparently, I don't remember it, I was jumping on the bed and the dresser was close to the bed and I landed and I guess hung on the corner of the dresser somehow, got wedged between the headboard and that, and I guess almost lost my eye. But yeah, that was it. And don't jump on the bed, kids or adults, especially adults. So I've had this come up a lot. One of the things that people are doing quite often is they're jailbreaking their phones. And I don't recommend it. And here's why. A few years ago, you could get a lot of cool features when you jailbreak your phone. And that is basically unlock it so you can download apps from anywhere for free. But that comes with a lot of potential for viruses. So I don't recommend that you jailbreak your phone. I know there'll be people screaming in the comments that there's no problem, but it can definitely cause problems. And, it's kind of funny. I think that Apple must have been monitoring, because a lot of the things that you used to be able to do with jailbreak, it almost looks like Apple said, hey, those are features that we want to add in, so let's go ahead and do that so people won't have to jailbreak their phones. And I think what I'm going to do in the next Tech Talk Live is I'm going to go into some of the top ways that you can figure out if your phone has been hacked as well. So, man, time flies when you're having fun. Are you guys having fun? Are you learning anything? Still have a few of you here, millions from around the world, or 120-ish. So, man, answer your phone. Let me see. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you. Be able to do private iPhone sessions. Let me see. Not sure what you mean by private iPhone sessions. Thank you. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm going to skip through a few things that are on my list that I haven't even gotten to. So we are definitely running over that 30 minutes. I apparently talk way too much or enjoy talking too much. No, actually, I enjoy interacting with you guys. So yeah, thank you. I absolutely love it. Let me see here. I want to give you a couple websites that are pretty cool. And these are websites that this first one can help you see if you have been hacked. And that is DNS, D as in David, N as in Nancy, S as in Scott, DNSleaktest.com. Check it out, and you can actually click on what is a DNS leak to explain it a little bit better, how to fix it, that type of thing. But it will run a DNS test, a leak test. And you can, I won't get into all of the details, but you can take a look at it and see. The other one, let me see. I'm going to save that one. I'll save that for next week. Anybody who owns a business, or if you work at a business, right? Especially a small business, this next website is really important. Google, when it comes to ranking factors and showing your content, especially, you know, from a search engine perspective and even locally, how fast your site speed is. There is a website called GT Metrics, GTmetrics.com, and you just enter the website and it'll give you an ABCD and give you a score and let you know, it'll let you know if your website is very slow, if it's causing users to not continue. And that's really helpful if you work at a business, own a business especially, and you need to show up on Google. Here we go. Can I put a tracker on someone's phone without them knowing it or switch out their SIM card? I don't recommend it. It is illegal in probably just about every single country. So yeah, don't do it, man. Don't do it. Oh yeah, the PEP6. So Roboform is the password manager, and the pep6.com is just a special link. If you go there, it goes to a special page where you get 42% off. So if you say, man, I really want to have this password manager, I want it across my devices, I'm sick of trying to remember a million different passwords, and then when you have to update them, cause more confusion, go to pep6.com and you can grab that deal for the 42% off. How do you get your Apple ID? Man, you know, other than try to contact Apple support, and, you know, once again, that's one of those things that, you know, there's certain passwords, when you lose them, you're in trouble. It's a huge challenge. So once again, the reason why tomorrow you'll see we'll be talking about Roboform, the password manager, and that's one of them. And same with your iCloud password. There's just quite a few of them. You can actually shut off the iCloud on your phone, but beware of doing that. It can definitely cause some issues, and you just go into your Apple ID settings and you can shut off iCloud. But yeah, if your phone's lost or stolen, yeah, there's definitely some challenges. I have Mac computers that I'm staring at right now. Excuse me. And yeah, it's really critical for me to have iCloud, obviously. And another thing that people ask, if you don't like iCloud and you just want to get rid of it, you can use Dropbox as well. Dropbox, I think, is $10 a month. But man, the reason I like Dropbox is because I can be in an airport, I can be on a different computer at a hotel in their, you know, business services. I can be on a Mac or any type of Windows computer, and I can go to Dropbox and I can get online and get all of my access to all of my files, which is critical. Computers crash all the time, right? Yeah, on a regular basis. So I highly recommend something like Dropbox, or at least back up your computer on a regular basis. Let me see. How we doing, Abe? Yes, testing leaks. That is DNSleaktest.com. And I have no affiliation with them. Just use it to check and see if there's been any leaks. You know, and I'll save this for next week on the special on Am I Being Hacked? Tech Talk Live number 3 is going to all be about being hacked and how you can do your best to avoid it, and we'll wait till next week.